you. Everybody okay? Let's try to continue with the presentation of evidence. And I just discovered that little whine that you just heard is because of my microphone, so I'm going to turn it off until we need it. So if I start talking again without realizing the microphone's not on, somebody go like this, let me know. Thank you. All right, you might continue. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Sure, what's wrong, Judge? It was.
You know what? You don't get sound unless you get the noise.
The one that shot her?
He came out dressed up and came out. And we kept on hitting his head. He said, let's just start her up and scare her. And he kept on banging on the house. Well, he was, we go up and say, Alana, are you home? David wants to say something, and he didn't say it. Well, he didn't want to go out. He went in there and was talking to her, and he kept on doing this, that, and the other, and them two was yelling at each other for a couple seconds, and he did something stupid.
They were fighting, arguing with each other. And what happened?
He pulled out nothing over here. But he didn't pull it out. He was sitting over there on the parents' dresser because he was running around at her house. He went and got it.
He went and what?
He got it once to go try to scare her. He shot him out. He actually shot him.
When did this happen?
I didn't know he was going to do that.
Are you talking about at the same time that we're talking about that this has been going on? You talk about you came up with him as Amanda was driving off and y'all were beating on the trailer or doing all this stuff?
No, but he was halfway up already ahead of me. But I already knew who it was, alright? I didn't know he was going to do something totally crazy.
Where did he go?
He went straight to her house.
Where did he go after?
He went back down to his house.
Where's his house?
Right down the road from mine.
So how did he leave her house to get to his house?
He ran down the way we came up.
Which is up the trail?
Yes, sir.
But we pretty much told you the dogs ran that trail.
That trail. This one trail this one right here. He took this sideways to the woods back. He took that and took Bob Oliver's and went right back to his house.
Where'd the gun come from?
He got it off of Mr. Paul's dresser. Got a first piece of safety or something, or whatever. I didn't really know about the gun until he pulled it off the dresser. I was
going over there to scare her.
I was going to go over there and tell her mom, tell them I wouldn't be able to go over there for 2 weeks. And he was just there, just do some fiddle farting around.
That's well, and I'll be honest with you, that still does not add up. But that even makes you look twice as bad.
I know.
Because you could have warned Mom off or sister off, and you didn't. I don't think that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know what else to. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to get you to understand something here.
I know my hand's going to be on that gun because
The bottom line is, you're all over this whole thing, period. Not just the gun, the yard, the house. the road, everything. You're over everything. You, Aaron, are over everything. Nobody else is over everything. You're forgetting there were other people in that yard too with you. The dogs kept tracking back to the same spot, which is in the backyard. Kept running around over here, running around trying to find other stuff, and they couldn't find other stuff, and they ran back to the front yard. Why? Because nobody left that backyard, Aaron. Nobody left that backyard. If anybody left that backyard, those dogs would have made a beeline off of it and ran through the woods over there because they ran that way. They looked that way. But they kept coming back. Why? Because the person didn't leave. There was no time. It does not add up.
Your prints are going to be the only ones on the gun, right?
Yeah, because
You're the one that dragged her outside.
Yeah.
Dragged her over there.
And my head, you said, oh, you just thought it was a garbage trail. Do you really want me to go tell her mother that was a garbage trail that was drug over there?
No, sir.
Okay, then. You said somebody drug this around here like a bag of garbage? Her daughter was drug around here like a bag of
If
garbage?
it was an accident, it was an accident, but you got to tell me.
Dude, you got to tell us. If it was an accident, let's sit here and
If
quit
you were
telling what it
playing a
is.
game, or if it was a game or something.
That never happened. But stop on that some other dude did it. Man, everybody tries to say that. And everybody that said it, it don't wash. I told you, it's not going to add up. You can say it, you can try to believe it, but you know it doesn't add up. If it was an accident, say it was an accident. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I'm not trying to trick you.
Nobody's going to end up as
You don't even know what's going to happen any more than I do.
I don't want to hurt her feelings.
You don't want to hurt whose feelings?
Her feelings.
Alana? Her feelings are already hurt, Aaron. How much more hurt could they be?
I didn't mean to hurt her.
All right, then what happened?
She was goofing around and I was goofing around. But first I went over there to tell her that I couldn't be over here for 2 weeks like I was saying. Because I know Amanda kind of a little bit forgets stuff when she's doing a lot of busy stuff. And I told her that she said she wanted to go outside and let's go and do something. Well, I didn't know the gun was loaded.
Okay. And what happened?
And she was acting like she was pulling the trigger. And I said, don't do that. And I took it away. And I went to go try to go put it up so I can go leave. And
Where was she at when it went on?
over there on the computer watch. Over the computer.
How close to you when it went on?
I was out there. I was grabbing it and taking it away.
So you were right behind her when it went on?
Right in front of her.
Right in front of her? She gets shot in the face or in the back of the head?
He got shot in the neck. Oh no, she got shot. She fell over the back of the chair. And fell over.
I'm sure she was shot in the back of the head.
I didn't know she was shot in the back of the head. All I know is they come out. And she went flopping down.
And she was in front of you, and her head, back of her head was facing you, right?
No. We're making us sound like I tried to shoot in the back of the head.
We're not trying to make it say that's what the evidence shows, buddy.
I know.
So if you know that, then why are you saying we're making it up? We're not. That's
No,
what
but I just aiming at it and all I had is grab it. And it went out.
Where were you at when you grabbed it?
Right in front of her. When I grabbed it, the gun tipped it up. And when it tipped it up, it went out. It got all of it.
sit tight just a second, okay? You want something to drink or?
Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Gotta go to the bathroom? Come on. I'll walk you right into the bathroom. All right. Aaron. What you doing, bud? Aaron, what's your middle name?
And it's my real name. My real name is Lacy.
Lacy.
Yes, sir.
L-A-C-Y.
Yes, sir.
You're 14?
Yes.
You in the 9th grade now?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you complete the 8th grade at?
Starting Crown Middle School. Aaron, I need to read something to you. I want you to understand this, okay? These are your Miranda rights. Okay? You ever been read your rights before? No.
Okay. I want you to pay attention to it. If you don't understand something, let me know. It's Columbia County Sheriff's Office, juvenile Miranda rights, or rights under Miranda. It says today's date 01/31/2011. It's 2050 when I fill this out, or 8:50 p.m. We're at CID, which is Criminal Investigations, and this is in Ackler, Georgia. Okay? I started off putting your name as Aaron, but you told me it wasn't. It was Lacy Aaron Schmidt is your full name. You're 14 years of age, and your date of birth is 6/9/1996. Okay? You're apparently regarded as Diane Chitty. She's your sister. Your address is 1218 Miles Road, Harlan, Georgia 30814. You're technically in the control of your sister, Diane Chitty, and her address is the same as you. Okay? What I need you to do is to hang on to this pen right here. I'm going to read this to you, and you tell me if you understand them, okay? What I'm going to get you to do is initial here if you do. All right, if you do not understand something, you let me know, okay? It says you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand what that says? Okay? If you do, just initial there saying I read it to you and that you understand it.
Well, what will happen if I do sign this?
What will happen? Nothing. We'll just talk. All all you're doing right there is just initially saying that I read that to you and you understand it. You put your initials there.
You just want LS.
However you do the initials, that's fine. All right. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. You have the right to consult with an attorney and have that attorney present during questioning. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It basically means from this point forward, if we talk and there's a reason that you want an attorney, you just say you want an attorney and you want to do during questioning, and we'll stop asking questions and we'll stop talking. That's what that means. Do you understand that? Okay. If you don't know, let me know. All right. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be provided at no cost to represent you. You understand what that says?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's for an attorney will automatically have to fight that.
Well, basically it means if you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can have one appointed to you. That's what that means. It don't cost you anything. All right, you can decide at any time to exercise these rights, not answering questions or making statements. Do you understand what that says?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As we're talking, if you don't want to talk, you just let me know. All right. I'm going to read this to you, and you tell me if that makes sense. You tell me what it says, okay? It says, I understand my rights under Miranda and waive those rights freely and voluntarily. I have not been threatened, coerced, or promised anything. My parent, guardian, has granted permission, and I am now willing to answer questions and or make a statement concerning the shooting of Alana Calahan. Do you understand what that says? Okay. Do you want to talk to us about this?
The whole thing?
Yeah, about the whole thing. And we're not going to go rehash everything, but are you willing to still talk to us about it? Okay. If you are, you just sign here, and we can keep talking. Okay.
Right in this area. Well, that trail there, so it's right over there.
Back behind where she was.
No, she's over here. It's over here. It's over there.
Over here. Before you get to the trail that goes back there. So the bushes over here.
I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as we can make it, okay? Because I know we've been here a while, and I want you to understand. From this point forward, I only want you to tell me the truth, okay? I don't want to rehash any of this other stuff that we've already talked about that may not necessarily be the truth. I want you to only tell me the truth, okay? Starting from the beginning, what happened today?
Well, I told you about the thing about me being restriction and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went back down to the house to tell Mom, because sometimes a man do forget.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to tell her. And, well, because the other day, the door was left wide open while Amanda and Miss Betty left.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in and I sat down and waited for whoever to come in. I just said if anybody does break in, I want to know how to, like, use something, you know, have a pen, because she don't know how to use it. Well, she, like I was saying, she grabbed it and everything, was still farting around with it, and I said, don't be doing like that, because I don't know if it'll go off. And when I grabbed it and went to go put down the hammer to go back up, and didn't want to go back up, and it just blew up and it went off and it shot out of my hands and hit her.
Okay. When that happened, you said Alana was talking about wanting to learn how to shoot. Is there stuff that was going on out there that scared her? I mean,
She didn't want to be home by herself, and she wanted to know how to use the pistol.
Okay. So there's this pistol that was laying. Where was the pistol at to begin with?
Just laying underneath a bunch of hats.
Where at? I mean, you said she was
near.
Where was she?
She got up from the computer on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and went in the bedroom and got it. And I said, I don't know if I should or shouldn't.
Okay.
And she starts fiddling around with it, you know, doing this. Well, because it pulls back and does that. Well, it had that hammer down. I said, don't pull the trigger because it may go off because the hammer's down. I don't know how to put it on safety, nothing that, because I didn't even know about hardly how to use this gun.
What kind of gun was it? Do you remember?
A 9mm.
Do you remember what kind? I mean, as far as what did it look like?
It was probably that big for the barrel, and probably the stock that big.
Okay. Black?
Huh?
Was it blued or was it stainless or silver?
Silver.
Silver. Okay.
Stainless silver.
Okay.
And it had a pull-back hammer.
Okay.
And when she pulled it back, I didn't know how to use the gun. I'd already told her that because she asked me twice already. Because this would be the second time I told her no, I can't. Because I don't know all the gun safeties about that. And when it went off, it nailed in the head, and I got very scared. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. Where were you at when the gun went off?
Directly behind her. I was trying to get up on the table, so if it did go off, it won't hit me or hit her. But when I try to pull that trigger back, ease it back up, the gun slid that way just a tad bit and went off because it slid off my hand.
Okay.
It went off.
All right. Let me ask you this just for general principle, just to cover this, because I don't want. Had you and her been having any problems?
No fighting.
Was y'all arguing about anything? Was she on Facebook saying anything to anybody?
No, we're
I'm not
good
gonna have all
to
her
everybody.
friends. I'm not gonna have all of her friends coming back knowing she just got through saying that he was over here and he was aggravating the snot out over and blah blah blah.
No.
I mean, I know his friends will do that.
I know.
They'll come back and she was talking all this trash about Aaron was bothering all this. It wasn't gonna be none of that, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So if we check
I'm
with
nice to her,
Facebook,
and I'm nice to her.
okay.
Well,
So if we check
I'm
with
nice to her, and she's
Facebook,
nice to me.
if we check with Facebook and pull that mess, we're not gonna find on there where she's talking any trash about you.
No, sir.
Okay. So this is strictly a platonic thing between you and her. Now, when I say platonic, friends.
Yes,
As
sir.
opposed to you weren't involved with her romantically or anything, or
No, sir.
wasn't trying to carry it someplace romantically, and she said no or anything.
No, sir.
None of that. There's no way possible that could be.
No, sir.
Okay, so she just all of a sudden, has she been talking to you about this gun before, about wanting to shoot it?
Yeah, because she said that her dad got a new pistol by Bruce, and I wasn't really too worried about it. Because I know I ain't supposed to touch them, not unless without an adult around.
Yeah.
Well, she went in there, she knew where the guns are because they were sitting right beside their dad's bed, well, up against the wall, with a 308. And the pistol was sitting underneath a bunch of hats, just sitting there.
Which obviously you've seen that before, right? Or did you
Yeah.
go in there with her when she took it out?
She went in there and just got it
So how did you know it was on all the hats and all that stuff?
because he put it there before he left to go to Michigan.
You saw him put it there?
No, I want to say when you take it apart and put it back together, what are you doing?
Cleaning it, disassembling it and cleaning it and put it
Yeah,
back?
that. He was doing that and he went to go put it up because he wanted some help to hold his bolt, and I helped him to hold his bolt.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was assembling it and he put it up.
Okay. And you saw where he put it? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
she went in there and got the what time was this about?
Probably a couple minutes before, not minutes, but probably about.
This might help you out.
Yeah.
Let's go back. You went earlier, you saw Amanda up at the end of the driveway, right? I mean, tell me, is that,
Yes, sir.
and you told her that you won't be coming around for a couple of weeks because you're grounded?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then, we'll go from there.
Well, I remember that sometimes Amanda does forget because she's all the time really, really busy. I'm pretty sure she'll forget things because the boys, they kind of don't do their homework right, and Amanda's on them 24/7. So I went up to Alana because Alana does not. All she does is on Facebook every day. She comes in and just do that. Because
So, when you left from Amanda, where'd you go from there?
straight back to my house. And I was watching a little bit of TV, and I remembered that sometimes Amanda does forget. I didn't want to Miss Betty think that I'm not over there because I don't want to be over there.
So you did what?
I went over there and went to go talk to Alana, and Alana was on Facebook doing something with pictures, changing them out. And when I came in, and she said she wanted to use this, that, and the other, well, how to use it. Well, I told her I probably can't because I probably don't even know how to even use the darn thing. And she said, you probably do. And I'm like, no, I probably don't. If it's a pistol, I don't. Rifle, I do because I'm an expert at rifles. I know how to take them apart and put them back together.
All right.
And she went in there and got it. And when she pulled out the hammer, I didn't know how to get the hammer back up. I tried to ease it up slowly, but...
You had it, and she sits back down in the chair and back on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
How far behind her are you?
Probably within 5 feet away.
Okay, I'm sitting in the chair here. All right, this will be her.
Yes, sir.
Were you standing up?
Well, there's a table behind her, and I was standing up and trying to ease that trigger up, and I had to set the gun down.
All right, stand up behind me and show me. I don't see how far away.
Because the way how you are, probably a little bit further back because there's a bunch of boxes right behind us. Where Miss Betty's got tacked up while I was doing this. They didn't down right, and I set the gun barely on the table, and I went to go move the hammer barely up, and it slid out of my hand and it went off. And Alana just fell over forward.
She fell over forward on the computer?
Yeah. I got scared and I was scrambling around. I was trying to... I thought I was going to be in deep trouble. I thought I may be going to YDC because people think I'm trying to go out there and try to kill somebody, but I'm not. I was trying to be nice to her, not to, but the darn thing went off and it popped her.
So what'd you do? You took the gun, you put it in your pocket, what'd you do?
No, I grabbed it and I just threw it down on the outside. I'm like, oh no, Amanda's coming real soon. Oh no. I'm just, when you're losing it for a minute or so. So I opened the door because she already fell forward and fell out of the chair, and the chair was laying backwards. All I did was open the door and try and drag her out, but I can't really drag her. She's kind of heavy. And so I just quit.
You quit where she was at?
Yeah. And I just left her alone, and I went and tried to hide the gun, and I went to go try to... I went to go inside to get my shoes, but man had pulled up and was already going inside. I went inside to get my shoes, and I had to make up something or she would have been all over me like white on rice.
What would you say when you came in?
What I told y'all.
And when you got your shoes and stuff and you ran back out, she went and got in the truck. Where'd you go?
Well, I acted like I went down in the woods, and I turned around and I acted like I was seen her, and I felt like puking when it did happen. I couldn't. I was bawling and everything. I didn't mean to do it.
One thing I got a question about, and I watched what you were doing over there. Investigator Evans couldn't see you. But you said when you had the gun, you said she was fiddling around with it. And you said she cocked it.
Yes, sir.
And you were saying, whoa, I don't know about that, I don't know, well, you can figure it out. No, I don't know if I can, hang tight. And you said you stepped in behind her to try to let the hammer back. And the way you were doing, when you said you was behind Investigator Evans, correct me if I'm wrong, you were standing, I'll just say his back is to me like this, okay? You said you were back here like this at the table, and you had the gun down here like this, trying to let the hammer down, and it kind of slipped and went like that and went off. Okay? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that kind of what happened?
Yes, sir.
The only thing that I have a question about is the gunshot, from what I've been told, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, went from up down, which meant you had to be above her for it to go the way it did.
I think I wasn't. I was right there on that table.
Is it possible that you were closer or any way, shape, or form could have had that gun higher than what you're saying?
No,
Because-
I was right there beside. Well, that little thing, I went to go try to sit down, but I couldn't because of the corner. So I just stood up, and it went off, and it bounced and hit the table, and it scared me, of course, because it sounded like a 30-30 going off, even though it was a pistol. I just threw it down for a minute. I was dancing around, and Alana just leaned over, making a thing like that. And she just leaned forward and leaned over and fell out of the chair, and the chair went with her.
Okay.
Would she make any noises when you took her out?
Quit moving.
When she was making noises right after it happened, moaning and stuff? Did you ever think about calling 911?
I couldn't. They don't have a house phone. I don't got a cell phone. My cell phone just got used up from my sister.
Why didn't you just go ahead and tell Amanda when she got back down there? Something incredibly bad has happened. I don't know what the crap to do, but I need help. She needs help. She's right here. Please, God, help me.
Because I couldn't even hurt her. Act like God did. Have me. I don't know. I had a lot on my mind. I thought they was going to hang me with my cuts.
The only thing I can say is I think they would have probably not liked it more if we kept up with this whole deal about some other guy running around. You know, of course, that's just me. Are you sure that there's no way when you, because I mean, like I said, one of the things we're going to have to do is collect evidence from her.
Because you know where the window, I don't like going in.
I got a basic idea.
Well, the table was right here, and there's chairs. So I went over here by the window, right there near the computer chair. Well, not really near it, because she scooted up really close to the computer. Well, the glass door, and when I went to go do it, it hit the table and it bounced off, and it went off. And when it went off, I threw the gun down. Like I was saying, she made that sound, and it scared me because, of course, it did happen because that's what I was afraid of did happen, which it did, and I got even more scared.
But what I was saying is, if we go and we collect evidence from her, it says that shot was this way, as opposed to like you're talking about here, or this way. How do we figure that out? I mean, you didn't walk up behind her.
Let me just say, this is the table, and here's the window.
All right.
Well, this computer chair, but it's a little bit further that way. I was holding the gun like this, and aiming at the table, and when I did, I went to try to undo the clip. Well, I took out the clip at first and set it down so it don't like reload and take out, but I know that pistol can do that.
Yeah.
So I just try to ease that hammer out, and when I did, I hit the table and I leaned it up high. Well, I don't know if it hit high because all I know, my hand was up and that thing went off. It bounced up. It scared me and it scared.
See, that's what I'm saying. The way you're trying to describe to me, the barrel would have been pointed down into the table.
Yeah, but
And we'd have had a shot table. And
I
not a shot
went to go
line.
and try to get down in the chair so I don't like accidents. Well, because I'm real shaky. Because ADHD, that's what happens. Because of the hyper disorder. Well, I stay moving, shaking and everything. Well, so I went to go sit down. So, because every time I sit down, my hands would stop shaking around. But when I did, and it hit that table, when I hit the table, it moved the barrel like that. It janked up, and when it went down like that, the trigger went out of my hand and it blew up the hammer.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, the way you're telling me, you're down low enough to where
I'm on this side of the table.
you're talking about across this way or this way?
This way.
No, I'm saying you're standing there. Is it shoot this way or this way? Was Alana over here or is she over here now?
She's over here.
She's over there, okay,
And you're on this end of the table, close to her.
No, this end, over here.
okay.
I went to go sit down, and when I sat down, the barrel hit the table and it bounced it up, and it went off.
Okay.
But it went off sideways. It went off sideways.
All right, let's find the weapon. This one's time of having it printed.
No, yeah, he's already pretty much said.
All right, here's the deal. Whose prints are supposed to be on that gun? That's it. Okay, whose prints? That's all that's on the gun.
Alana's prints aren't on it. Alana's prints aren't on it.
Who?
Alana?
Is your name Alana? Is his name Alana?
No, that's Aaron. I was telling him.
Yeah, Aaron's prints, because we got his prints on file. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, your prints are on it, that's all.
And when it hit the table, it bounced up and went off. And it got her in the head.
So there's no way in the world that you were up behind her, over the top of her, and shot her in the back of the head that way. There's no way that happened.
You know what I'm saying?
If they don't find any other prints on that gun besides yours, how do we account for Alana? Holy. Because you said the last time you saw it, it had been cleaned
Yes,
and
sir.
put away.
When
She grabbed it.
But
But what if we don't
I
see it?
used, I don't want to act like I'm trying to cover up or try to act like I wiped off
No,
stuff like that.
I'm not saying that
I'm
you
not
did.
saying that, but when I was going to try to lift it up, because she held it by the barrel, well, I grabbed the barrel with the rag, and I was going to try to hold it like this. And I was holding the rag just in case if it did go off and burn my hand. But I did have the rag on my hand and on the barrel, and doing this to try to ease it up. And when it hit the table, like I was saying, when it hit the table, it bounced up, and I lost the grip of that hammer, and it went off and got hurt.
Y'all been target shooting the stuff outside and all that stuff before.
Yeah, but I never
No,
used
this
this
is
one.
why didn't you just take it outside and try to use it up where if it went off, you'd be facing a tree or
I wasn't thinking about that. Because she said she wanted to see it, and I said I don't know how to do it.
What would have been just step there to the back door?
That door didn't want to open.
The back door that you opened to take her out wouldn't open when you had the gun in your hand to show her?
It wouldn't open. I had snatched it open as hard as I could.
maybe go in the front door with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking.
I still don't have a good feeling about it.
Hang tight.
It's my shoes out.
Alright. So. Alright. Just got a phone. Trying to see guys in the corner and all that stuff. And they're out there looking where that table is now and where the computer chair is she's sitting in. And they're telling me it's not possible that the gun was fired from the table height to where it hit her. The gun was fired up higher.
Out there?
Oh yeah, we got there all night. When the gun was fired up higher. It wasn't fired at table height. It's not possible.
The way how she spun in the chair, it did happen.
No, what I'm saying is that the trajectory, the way the bullet went in, it came from up to down. Okay?
Or did it go through?
The table couldn't do that. Okay, that would be down to up if it were on the table.
If I'm sitting here playing on Facebook,
And I'm down here on the
and you're
table.
down there on the table,
See what I'm saying?
well, it's going up,
But this
not
one
down.
came down, so it would have to be fired from up here.
I never did do that though.
But I'm saying, we're up here doing it. I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm just trying to, put
All I
these
know, the
puzzle
gun
pieces
went
together
off
like
and I
you
got
said.
scared.
What about this rag you said you grabbed it with?
Yeah, I
Where did-
used the rag on the kitchen. It's on the kitchen stove now. I put it back.
Why did you use that?
Huh?
Grab it with. Why did you use that to grab
In
it
case
with?
it went off and burnt my hand.
Why were you worried about it going off and burning your hand if you were holding it the way you were supposed to be holding it?
I wasn't holding it. I don't even know how to hold the pistol.
How did you grab it?
I had my hand on the barrel like this, and I was supposed to have my hand like this, right? And I'm supposed to ease it off like that.
Okay, but you were standing over by the computer. Where was the rag you grabbed it with?
It was in my hand.
Would you grab that first? Did you grab it afterwards? Was it right there? I mean, how'd you get
Because
it?
I thought about it, and I went in the kitchen. I grabbed the rag, and I just put it on top of it, and I grabbed it.
You came back to behind her to unload it.
Huh?
Then you came back from the kitchen to behind where she was at on the computer.
To go get the rag, and I went back and grabbed the rag. And
If you went over there to grab the rag, why did you come back behind her to unload it? Why didn't you just go outside?
I put the pistol down on the table.
That's not what you said.
I didn't take it into the kitchen.
You said you went into the kitchen, got the rag,
Yeah.
and you came back in the living room, and you said that first she handed you the pistol,
Yes.
and you had the pistol, but you had thought enough about it to go into the kitchen and get the rag and put it over the pistol. Now you're saying you didn't have the pistol.
I know. I left the pistol where I was sitting at, and I was doing it before I was even thinking about the thing going off. I was doing like I was saying I was doing, but I was too scared to do it. I was nervous,
Okay.
and I was thinking about if it did go off, it
How
would
about
go
this?
in.
Why not just leave it there?
I wasn't thinking about it.
Just leave it there on the table and go, you know what? Neither one of us are going to touch it. When Amanda gets home, we'll let her know, hey, look, we thinking about going out and shooting it. Dumb, but we'll just leave it there. No harm, no foul. It doesn't go off, everything's fine. Kind of why I think it didn't happen that way is because the way you're trying to say it again yet didn't happen. Because we keep digging into this further, and they'll be out there all night. I mean, if we keep sending them things to look at, they'll stay out there all night and half tomorrow if we need them to. I'm getting a little agitated, and I'm trying not to, Aaron. I really am. I'm getting to the
Yeah,
point now to where
I'm trying to tell you the truth.
no, you're not trying to tell us the truth. If you were trying to tell us the truth, just tell us the truth and quit trying.
No,
You would quit
I'm not
trying to just make stuff fit what we're telling you.
Listen, we're telling you what the evidence is and what the facts are, okay?
I know
And we're showing that
the trajectory range of that was probably way too close, and it went in our head to a diameter way.
Listen, we're trying to tell you that the evidence it contradicts what you're saying, okay? It's not going with what you're saying, okay? We're telling you, that's flat out. You can't lie about that. I mean, you can't. We can't. That's the way it is. It is the way it is, okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know for a fact that gun was not there on the table like this when it went off, okay?
No, I never did say it went off like that because when I
that
had it in my
gun was
hand,
up above her.
Yes.
It was higher than where it went off. It was up. It wasn't down. It was up is what I'm telling you. If you were playing some kind of game, you thought it was unloaded, and you come in there and, pow, whatever, and it went off, you didn't know it was loaded, okay. But what I'm asking you and what I'm telling you is that's not the way it happened, okay? Tell me the way it happened. Tell me the way it happened, Aaron. We can go back and forth all night, and I can tell you that it didn't happen that way, okay?
I'm going to be in trouble if I do.
I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened.
Okay, I was being dumb. I grabbed it when after she handed it to me. I was trying to undo it, like I was saying, like I did. But I thought it can go back again, so I can just, pull it back again. But it wasn't budging. And I picked it up, and I was going to try to go outside, but the door did not want to go open with just one hand. And I was doing that. Again, when we said it was just pull back, you let out the bullet. And my hand was on the trigger, and it just went off.
But that still doesn't figure out you're over there by the door now and not behind her like you were.
No, the glass door beside me.
But what we're trying to tell you is, somebody, let's just pull it down to brass tacks. This happened because somebody was standing up behind her at a certain angle.
When I was doing that, I was doing this, trying to see if they will come out, because...
Okay.
Now you got to point it up in the air.
Yeah, now you got to point it in the
I
air.
have it sideways in my hands, so I can grab onto it like this and just pull it back. I was doing this, and I kept on doing that, pulling it
Where
back.
are you standing when you're doing this?
Up against the glass door.
Which would have meant she's beside you, right? No.
No. You know where I was saying where I was sitting at, right?
Mm-hmm. You
Right
said you were
behind
sitting by the
there.
table.
Yeah, I picked it up and I was doing this, and I was looking. I actually had it pointed at me at first, and I was doing that. And I turned it like that, and I kept on. I was like,
So at what point, you didn't grab the rag or anything? Did none of that happen, right? You didn't grab the rag?
well, I did grab the rag, but I didn't really get to use it because I didn't grab it.
You're confusing me more. You're confusing me more. Look, somebody, and I don't mean to cut you off, but bottom line, Aaron, we can run over this all day long. Listen to me. Listen to me. The only way this could have happened was somebody was standing behind her.
And I stood up, and I was doing
But you said you were over by the window. Where were you at? I mean, good Lord, you done moved all over this house in this period of time. I mean, you're in the kitchen, you're over here about the thing, you're over there in the thing, you're back over here, back there. But what happened? It ain't any worse than what it is right now. You're trying to sit here and fit everything into it so it sounds better. But all it comes out is just sounding like you're trying to cover up something. That's all it sounds like. Period. And I'm not trying to get aggravated, but good Lord, we're going to sit here talking about this now for a little while.
I don't want to go to YDC. I'm scared of a lot of things.
I understand you're scared of a lot of things, but the one thing that you need to be concerned about is trying to figure out what the facts are and get the facts straight.
I am telling the truth about doing this, and I grabbed...
You are trying to manipulate things to make it look a certain way, is what you're trying to do.
I'm manipulating this time.
Yeah, sure you are. But if you're not, okay, this time, I don't care about what happened prior to that gun going off. I want to know, when you had that gun in your hand, where were you at when you got it in your hands?
I was standing right there behind her.
Okay, and what did you do?
I was trying to get it back up, but it didn't want to go up.
Okay.
Because first I thought I was supposed
How close were you to her?
within 2 feet or closer to her.
Okay.
And
Because here's what we know. The bullet went in, it went through, and it went into the keyboard. So it could not have been from the side, from over here, from over here, from over there. What we're telling you is, there's only one way
I held
it could
it
have
like
happened.
this, and I wanted to go do it like, hold it like this, and ease it, but like I said, it did slide out of my hand. It went off, and it popped it.
Why? Here. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not. Do you have it in you to tell me the truth?
Wait, how I'm saying right now.
Well,
No,
where you
I ain't leaving. Here you see it's the computer chair, right?
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, as far back.
Whoa. Just tell me.
Well, let's just say you just turn backwards.
Okay.
Here's the table.
Okay, this is her. Now, what is she doing?
Well, she just was spinning first.
She's spinning, but then at this
Then
point
she
she
got
turns
back
around
on
and
it.
she's typing on the computer.
And she kept on doing the spin again every time she was getting a message. And I held it like this, and I went to go pull back a little bit, and when I did, I wasn't paying attention about how fast it was going to come up. But when I was standing right here,
Which way was the barrel pointed?
I don't know, it was facing that way.
Was it this way or was it this way?
Facing that way.
That way. Okay. Keep going.
To my left. And when I barely even tapped that trigger, it went flying up and grazed my hand. And I missed it, and it clamped on and went off, and it popped.
So is that how you got the pinch on your finger right there?
No, this I got pinched by the fence at my house.
Okay.
But it closed down on it.
So that's not from the hammer coming down and hitting you?
No, sir.
Because that's kind of what that looks like to me. I've had plenty of times where that's happened. I get a little blood blister there because I held it wrong. So you're holding it in your hands like this, and you're trying to get the thing to come down, and you got your finger back like this.
Yes, sir.
And your finger's on the trigger, and all of a sudden...
I barely tapped that trigger like that, and when I barely tapped it, it went...
Which finger did you tap the trigger with?
This finger.
You had that finger wrapped in the...
Yes, sir.
How did you have it? I mean...
I grabbed it by the barrel like this. You know how the barrel is? I grabbed it like that. And I eased, barely put any force to the trigger. And I wasn't paying attention how fast the hammer was going to come up. And when it came up, it flung up and missed my finger, and it connected to it, and it went off.
Okay.
And it went...
I mean, is this...
You didn't shoot yourself in the hand?
No, sir.
You're dang lucky. And then you look, and what happens?
And she just leans over and the computer chair falls
And
over.
is this about where you are in relation to her?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, she's sitting there and you're standing here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, not turned like that, but I was right behind her.
So you're standing basically square behind her.
Well, not close blind.
I mean, it's like if he's turning around with his back to her, are you standing kind of like this behind her?
A little bit further back like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like this, and you're manipulating.
Madam DA, this last segment will last about how long?
32 minutes.
Thank you. Everybody okay for another 32 minutes? If you need a break, raise your hand. All right, thank you.
So I see the Facebook and all.
Yeah.
Mine or that leading
Of yours.
Aaron Schmidt, Aaron Calahan.
Yeah.
They didn't have any clothes on him.
Something about demons. Quit fighting on their demon or something like that.
Yeah.
Just how we would breed or something like that.
So, listening. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right? Just took all that to come to this point. But here's the thing. Our fingerprints are on that gun. You know why they're not on that gun? You tell me.
Got the shoe and then got it. Well,
Because she didn't have the gun. There. Here, I told you, we're going to pick apart every little thing. Just quit trying to think of something else to cover it up and just tell me the truth.
okay, but she did want to use it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not lying about that. She wanted it. I didn't want to grab it, but she said I wasn't going to get in trouble if I do go in there and get it. So I went in there and got it. And she said, I'll be fine. And she went to go grab it and pull it back, but I ended up grabbing it and bringing it back myself because I was trying to focus on her hand. No, I'm not saying that.
You went and got the gun.
Yes.
You came out.
Yes, but the clip was already halfway down.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
What clip was already halfway down?
Yeah.
A hammer?
Yeah, a hammer.
But you said you went like that.
Yeah, I thought I did because that back thing went down.
Mm-hmm.
The little hammer thing went back down.
Okay.
So I went like that and hit it down, and I didn't know how to get it back up without it
Going off.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened?
Like I was saying, I grabbed it not right at the bottom of the barrel, at the top of the barrel. I was doing that to try to make sure that it didn't go off. But like I said, it slid off of my hand and it went off.
Okay. And what did she do when you realized it went off? What happened? What did she do?
And like I said, she fell over forward on the keyboards and she rolled sideways and the computer chair fell down with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really scared.
And what did you do at that point?
I just was thinking about everything at once. It's hard to
Think about
say.
what you're doing, but tell me what you're thinking about and what you're doing.
All I did is set the gun down real fast. I was like, oh no. And I put my hands to my head and I got real scared.
What was she doing?
What?
What was Alana doing?
She fell over down.
Okay.
And I got scared. I didn't know what to do.
Did you stay right there with her?
Yeah, see if she was all right, but
Okay.
she wasn't moving. She wasn't breathing or nothing.
Well, here's another little piece. We got where there's some fingerprints on the curtains by the back door, where it looks like somebody reached up and tried to pull up on the curtains.
She was trying to pull herself
That's my handprint.
down low.
Down low, by where she was.
No, that's when she fell over. If it's down low.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So she didn't just fall over and lay there. She was down low trying to
I was
reach up.
trying to see if she was all right. She didn't move. She wasn't breathing.
But you just told me a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, she was moaning.
That was it. When it went off there, she went fell over.
Did she ever grab at the curtains?
No, she just fell over the chair and she just went down. I'm not lying about this.
I'm not saying you are.
Even though I said that so many times, it's probably so old.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Because she just fell over and I was like, oh no. I got very scared. I didn't know what to do. She just laid there and blood going everywhere, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at her house and on her, I didn't know what to do. I was trying to think of something.
As you're thinking, what are you doing?
I didn't know if they were going to get mad at me if I told them the truth about the gun going off and hitting her in the head about that, or make something else, and they would try to actually like me still and don't want to be around me.
Yeah. So what did you do?
So I tried to make up like that thing I was telling y'all about, the man and everything. I told her about that, and that was about it. And I just moved her body out.
How did you move her body?
I picked her up by her sleeves, and I just dragged her out.
How was she facing?
She was just facing upwards.
When you dragged her? She was facing upward the whole way?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And her head kept on going back and forth, back and forth.
All right. Did she say anything? Did she ever make any noises? All right, then what you do?
And I try to act, but I can't act.
Well, I mean, did you run back in the house? I mean, what did you do?
I tried to go back in and get my shoes, but I couldn't because Amanda was coming in.
Okay. Where was the gun at that point?
I
I already took it out and I was ditching it.
All right, what did you do that? So you skipped that part. When did you take it out and ditch it? I mean, you laid it
When
down.
I took her out and I laid her down, I just ran and ditched the gun.
So did you take her out and lay her down on the back porch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you laid her down on the back porch, what'd you do?
I ran inside, got the gun, and I went and ditched it.
Where?
You know where the burning pile is? Well, you don't go left, you go right, and right in that corner. Not in this side, and over here, but there's trail. But on the left side area.
Okay.
It's right there.
All right. How far down?
I just tossed it.
Oh, you just tossed it? You didn't lay it down? All right. On that left side, you talk about the left side over there where Alana was, or come back around and
You
this
go right.
right in front of where the truck was parked?
Yeah, there's a truck, but there's another trail onto the right side.
Okay. Well, if you wanted some water.
Well,
You
on
don't-
the right side there's a trail. But on this trail, when you're on the trail, look on the left side. It should be somewhere right in there.
Okay. All right. So, how did the whole thing about the gun come up in the first place? How long had you been there?
I've been there probably about 5 minutes because it took Amanda a little while to get down there and wait for Chase to get off the bus.
Okay.
So it was probably 10 to 15 minutes. And she was telling me before I left, I was about to leave, because I told her that the door was open, because one day the door was wide open, even though Amanda said she locked it, even though it was wide open.
Okay, I don't want to know about all that. I want to know about when you're standing back there talking to Alana. She's dabbling around on Facebook, answering emails and stuff like that, talking to you or whatever. At what point did she say anything? Man, when did this gun thing come up?
I was telling her I'll think about it, and she kept on saying, I need to know. I need to know.
So you talked about this before?
Only once.
Well, why was it just so important today?
Huh?
Why was it just so important today? Had it been done 2 days.
I don't know.
Has she been having problems with people? I mean, you said before she was scared.
Yeah, I was scared to stay home by herself, because one time there was a dude that walked around her house and she got scared.
Okay. I mean, is this something she was always talking about, or?
She's talked about that for quite a while.
Okay, so you're there today, and all of a sudden today she mentioned something about shooting, and all of a sudden today it became such a strong thing.
Because she said she wanted to know, before I left, how to use it, and I was like, I guess, maybe. I don't know if
Even though you don't know how to use a pistol, by your own admission, you told her this, and you said, I don't think it's a good idea, but said she pushed you that much to where you figured it was all right to go get the pistol. Where'd you say the pistol was?
You know where the bed is, the parents' bedroom is? Well, there, all the way against the road, there's the 308 sitting on the corner, because she already knows how to use that. She already got knocked over the tail using that thing.
Okay.
She, I want to say, it was on there, it would be up there. If you're right there on top of the dresser, the brownish dresser sitting up there underneath 3 hats with 2 sunglasses on.
Okay. Was it in anything?
Huh?
Was it in anything?
No.
It was just a pistol laying up under there, not in a box, nothing.
I didn't see a box.
Fully loaded.
Huh?
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
I don't know if it was fully loaded. I didn't see the clip. I don't know how to get the clip out.
Told me earlier you took the flip out. Yeah. You said earlier you did.
I didn't know how to get the clip out until I was
What did you call on the clip?
Huh?
What do you call on the clip?
Is that the clip here where you gotta pull it back?
No. That's the slide. The clip. This little thing up under where the bullets go.
Where the magazine?
That's the magazine. That's that little.
I know how to get that out.
Okay.
I don't know how to get this out because it got
You didn't know how to
jammed.
you didn't know how to clear it out of the slide. You didn't know how to clear it out of the chamber.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. So you're talking about the barrel, the slide, and the chamber as opposed to the clip.
Yeah.
Because a clip that we talk about, it's not the proper term, is the magazine. That's the proper term. You know about the magazine. You got to, as you said before, you did take the magazine out of the clip. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. How did you take it out? And then you're saying now you
All
never.
I did is grab the handle and it fell out. Because when I grabbed it, there was a button and it just slid out.
But you just said you never took it out because you never learned how to take it out.
No, I was talking about the magazine.
I mean, you just said fully loaded. You said, I don't know if it was fully loaded or not. I never took the magazine out because I didn't.
Oh, I can't see everything. All I saw was a couple bullets at the top. That's
Okay.
it. I can't tell if it was fully loaded or not.
So you get the gun. What do you do when you get the gun? Who was she with you when you got the gun?
Yes, sir.
What was she saying and doing?
I didn't know if that pistol was that big. Because it is a little pretty big. And I let her, I didn't let her hold it. I was going to say that, but y'all going to say there ain't no fingerprint. But it did have a little weight to it. And so the hammer was already back halfway, like halfway middle and backwards. And I didn't notice it, and I went to go to see if it was loaded, and I couldn't get this thing to get back, see if I can get it out.
Okay.
And I couldn't get it out.
All right.
I went to go try to get the hammer back, try to get the hammer out.
Y'all were back in the bedroom. At what point did you walk back up into the front and she sit down that you were doing this?
I don't know when. It was a couple minutes we were talking, and then she said she got a...
What were y'all doing this couple of minutes you were talking? You were just fumbling with the gun?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how it was working? What?
Well, I was trying to see how I'm going to get the bullet out.
Okay.
If it was loaded. Because
She's on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, she came in there with the room with me, and we walked out. I sat down at the table behind her, and I was trying to still see if that darn thing would come out, and I thought it was jammed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how to, I don't know how to use a rifle, a 30-30, you know how you got to put the finger there and ease it up. Well, I thought I had to do that, but it just flew up.
Okay.
And it kind of startled me the way how it flew up. And it just went up and it clicked. And when it clipped, it went off.
Okay. And then by this time you were standing up when that happened.
When I was doing this.
Yeah. She falls forward. She falls down. She moans as she's falling forward and then falls down. The chair falls over. And then what do you do?
I was just sitting there and trying. I touched her by the shoulder and rolled her over a little bit. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I got scared, and I kind of mumble when I get really, really scared. And I kept on doing that, and I was trying to see if she was all right, and she just started gushing out blood on top of her head.
Okay.
And I got scared even more when I saw that, and I was like, because I turned white. You know when you turn white. Well, I turned white and I started sweating because I was that scared.
Okay.
So I open the back. I had to put a lot of thrust in that back door to open it. I didn't know if it was locked or not. All I did was grab it and slung it back. And I just put her on the back porch, and I went and got the pistol and put clip a magazine, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And put it back in there, and I just threw it in the woods. And I tried to drag Alana, but it didn't work out that well.
Where were you going to take her to?
Huh?
Where were you going to take her to?
That's one thing I was trying to figure out.
And all that seemed like a better solution than...
So it will look like there's something. I'm trying to make... It's hard to say it.
I think I know what you're trying to say. You were trying to say you were trying to do it in such a way to where they wouldn't bring the heat down on you so much they would never want to see you again.
Yeah. That.
But you see, in all this running around, trying to do all this stuff over here to try to prevent them from seeing this in a bad light, what does it look like?
Still a bad light.
So did you really get away from what you were trying? No. Instead, it makes us think you're doing nothing but sitting here lying, trying to save your own self.
I was trying to say, but it's kind of confusing to say.
Well, I understand that, but you were outright making up stuff to
The
begin
first
with.
time, yes.
Yeah.
But when I said I was going to pull out full cards, I was trying to get it out.
Well, and sometimes it comes longer for others to get it out. I just want to make sure that we're not going to have one of these other revelations.
I'm not lying about nothing. I didn't mean to hurt her.
All right. Okay. Hang tight.
Can I get my shoes?
We will think about it.
Investigator, after this, do you ultimately arrest the defendant at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
And in relation to the time when the consent search was done at Diana Chitty's home, was the arrest before or after that?
Before.
Do you know approximately how long before?
It was, I think I'd got the warrants sometime around midnight that night, and the consent search to her house was the next day sometime.
At any time during that interview, did the defendant ask to see Diana Chitty?
No, ma'am.
And at one point, let me ask you this. Do you know how tall the defendant is?
It would be notated on that interview worksheet. I want to say about 6 foot.
Okay. And at the completion of your interview, of your investigation, the story that he gives you, does that match the evidence?
No.
Okay. And when he talks about Alana falling over and moaning, is he crying?
No.
When he talks about her blood gushing from her head, is he crying?
No.
When he talks about dragging her body all the way back to the path, is he crying?
No.
What would you say his demeanor was while he's describing these horrific events?
Very calm.
When do you execute this search warrant on his home?
That was several days later.
Okay. And what was the result of that search warrant? What did you find at that time?
That was when the MP3 player and the camera and some other items were located that belonged to Calahan's.
Is there any reason that those were not obtained the day after the interview?
At that time, we weren't aware that anything like that was missing.
Okay. Does he ever discuss with you where that gun box was?
No.
Does he ever discuss any kind of issue with Alana that he had?
No.
Does he ever talk about any kind of conversation that he even has other than a conversation about the gun?
No.
Yeah, may I approach a witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Investigator, I'm showing you what's been previously marked, the State's Exhibit 201, 202, and 204. Do you recognize these?
Yes, ma'am.
What are they?
It is one picture of Mr. Schmidt's left foot, socked foot, picture of his right foot, socked foot, and a picture of the drawing that he made of the area of the Callahan's house.
Your Honor, at this time, we would seek to admit State Exhibit 201, 202, and 204.
Any objection?
No, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
May I publish them to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
And we might need some assistance with the lights. Your Honor. Sorry. What is this a picture of?
Mr. Schmidt's left foot with a sock.
Is that how it appeared in the interview?
Yes, ma'am.
And State's Exhibit 202, what is this a picture of?
Of his right foot with a sock.
Is that how it appeared at the interview?
Yes, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 204, what is this?
That is the drawing that he made on that the board of the Callahans, the area around the Callahans and the Callahans' house.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. What county is the Callahan's residence in?
Columbia.
And at any time did Mr. Schmidt indicate that he had permission to be in possession of that gun?
No.
What about the MP3 players or the iPods?
No.
I could just have 1 second, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness at this time.
Ms. Tonkar?
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize because I didn't jot down the exact amount. You stated you were with the sheriff's office for about 22 years? Did I get
Almost 20.
Almost 20 years,
Just
okay.
over 19.
And in that time, I've assumed, have talked to many different victims of traumatic events, witnesses to traumatic events. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And they don't all exhibit the same kind of reaction to that trauma. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can step down. Ladies and gentlemen, we're a little later than I thought, but let's take a lunch break right now. Let's do it plan to be gone for, well, we have one more witness from the state. What time will he be here? 2:30? Okay. Let's do this. Let's plan to be back here at, 2:30 gives us an hour and 15 minutes. Is that enough time? Let's be back here at 2:30. Thank you. All right, everybody can be seated, please. Let the record reflect that the jury has left the courtroom. There's one issue the court desires to take up before we recess for lunch. Anything that counsel desires to take up? Madam DA? Ms. Dunkar?
No, sir.
Thank you. I want to point out a couple of things. This will only take a minute and doesn't really require any feedback from y'all, but I want to put everybody on notice because we're going to do something a little differently. Typically, as you know, this court makes every effort to assure that the jury has with it when it goes out to deliberate a copy of the charge that the court has given. So they have a written charge as well as the verbal charges provided. One of the objectives of let me say this. We usually have a preliminary charge conference in most trials. I know each of you have done that every time we've had a trial. We've had many trials. The objective of that charge conference is twofold. One is to give the court some idea of where we're headed with the evidence and with the charges so that I might prepare in advance a draft of the charge. But the secondary objective is to help assure that the attorneys assess in the context of the jury charge the evidence that they presented in the case. In this case, we're not going to have an opportunity for that preliminary jury charge. It's just not working out that way. Usually the course of the trial lends itself for that. It just hasn't in this case. But I anticipate that we will have a charge conference later today after the evidence is closed And then, of course, that depends on what the defendant's case is and how long that takes. I understand that Dr. Brown will be a very brief witness. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I'm addressing this right now, not so much for the first charge, because y'all did a good job of preparing your charges and getting them to me early. And the court has prepared a rough draft of the charges and even included some things that we might need. I know that y'all, as usual, have included things that you might need. And we'll deal with those, and that'll be very simple at the charge conference. But today, the charge conference will focus on two things. There'll be two main issues. We'll go over every charge, request to charge. But the first is to assure that the state's felony murder request to charge actually conforms to the evidence and to the indictment. And so I want to give everybody a heads up on that. The other thing is more important in this case, and this is what the court spent all of last night and starting again about 4:30 this morning. Woke up early thinking about it, went to bed late, woke up early. And that is this issue of the request to charge by the defendant on voluntary manslaughter. And I would just remind everybody that in this case, the defendant has opted to that should be his only defense. And of course, it would be a defense only to murder because it would be a lesser offense than murder. Well, when I say murder, I mean murder and felony murder, of course. Well, acknowledging that this is the sole defense, I want to make sure that everybody, and I want y'all to be thinking about this between now and the time that we have our charge conference, thinking about a couple realities. One reality is the sole defense. It would be reversible error for this court to fail to charge the sole defense. If there's any evidence, well, they don't use the term any evidence, even slight evidence to support to authorize that charge. And to authorize a charge, I want to point out to everybody and remind y'all that the authorize a charge on voluntary manslaughter, that the evidence that we're talking about has to be address this issue, that the defendant acted out of sudden, violent, and irresistible passion resulting from serious provocation, and that he did so as a reasonable person might have done. I'm very concerned about whether there's such evidence in this case. And so, at least to this point, now, we don't know what the rest of the evidence will be in the case. And so, I'm certainly not making any calls right now, but I just wanted you to notice. And Ms. Dunkor, I particularly want you to understand that when we start the charge conference, my intention is to require that you point to the evidence that you think has been developed in this case that support that would provide the slight evidence necessary for you to get that charge. Okay?
Yes, sir.
As to the state, I wanted the state to also take into consideration these issues. Our Supreme Court has made it abundantly clear that if there's evidence, however slight, the charge of voluntary manslaughter is authorized. They point out in numerous cases that it is never error to charge voluntary manslaughter. It is error sometimes if the Court of on review, the Supreme Court of Georgia disagrees with the court's assessment that as a matter of law, the facts don't constitute that or don't provide that slight evidence that's required, that the failure to charge that would be reversible error. And it would absolutely, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't think we've ever tried in the 8 years I've been on the bench. And I know y'all haven't been with me all 8 years, but in no case that I know that y'all have tried have we ever had a case where the failure to charge would be such a clear error, because we almost always charge it. And I understand in this case that essentially the charge is asking, and I'll just introduce this concept, it appears that it might be even tantamount to a charge that authorizes jury nullification, and which is, we have other people in here. That's just the concept that the jury might, and they always have the power to do this, the ability to do this, but they're not. They've taken an oath that they would follow the law, and if the evidence is there to convict, they will convict. If the evidence is not there to convict, they will acquit. But this gives them an opportunity, and I would think is tantamount to almost a charge permitting them to exercise their, that what we call jury nullification in the case. I'm very uncomfortable with that because that's not authorized by law, that's not provided by law, and it's just not right. And so it's very important that you find me the evidence. Ms. Payne, it's very important that you consider the fact that if the evidence she finds, if the court calls this one wrong, y'all will be back here trying this case. And absolutely, because it will be reversible error. There's no way the Supreme Court can work around that issue. I'm not decided the case yet, or made that decision yet, but I just want to know that it's very important that when we come back, Ms. Dunkard, that you be able to point to certain specific things at the charge conference, and will that be at the close of the evidence, and there may be other evidence to be considered between now and that time. And Ms. Payne, I want you to think about, if you get a conviction, you want it to stick. And so we'll leave it at that point. Y'all have a good lunch, and we'll see you back here in 1 hour.